Good evening, I'm Mark Ivy. Welcome to the latest edition of Kernels from the Cornfield. No husk, no hulls, no shucks. News with a dash of commentary to spice up your fare for Monday, June 16th, 2014. As you may have noticed, Kernels has been dark for over a week due to some flare-ups with my health and another procedure from which I am still recovering. That doesn't mean I haven't been reading, listening, watching, and closely paying attention to the headlines and current events. During this time period, at times it seems that the world has erupted like Mount Etna or Vesuvius, destroying Pompeii. The violence, the upheavals, the crises have been literally earth-shaking at times. Across the U.S. of A., we have seen instances of individuals going berserk, killing and maiming from Oregon to Nevada to California to the Carolinas. Irrational behavior resulting in murder and mayhem has been rampant. The spotlight has once more focused in on the weapon rather than the root cause and dealing realistically with mental health concerns. Remember, laws are passed to keep honest people honest. Those of the criminal element don't care how many laws are passed. Those with a psychological break have no concept of right and wrong. The nightmare of veterans being mistreated by insufferable weights and dying in Arizona has turned out to be the tip of an iceberg of monumental proportions, capable of sinking 1,000 Titanics. Meanwhile, both chambers of Congress were able to unite across party and ideological divides to zero in on keeping America's promise to those men and women who have donned the uniform. Children are fleeing from poverty and atrocities in Central and South America. The youngsters are dashing for the U.S. border with hopes of being picked up by the Border Patrol and sent to relatives living in the States. Yet oozing out of this tragic situation are tales of abuse and human trafficking as well. Questions of why parents are sending their children north on a wing and a prayer to uncertainty. Is life so bad, so unbearable that parents think, no matter the danger in life, in the U.S. of A. in detention, it's better than life in their home country? We have seen the political arena turned on end as the majority leader in the House of Representatives was felled by a gnat landing on a mighty oak. Acorns fell across the spectrum. With Eric Hanter's defeat, legislation to secure the border, deal with the influx of desperate children, fix the immigration system has died on the vine until a new crop arrives in Washington, D.C. next year. One computer on an intranet connected through a local area network, crashes, and 2 years of emails are lost? Sounds like smoke and mirrors and a lot of CYA by the IRS and Lois Lerner. I have a bridge with beachfront property for sale in Arizona, in the Arizona desert, for a song too. Shadows of all the president's men. Ukraine is fighting back as Russian tanks roll across the border. But the world has moved on to something shinier. Iraq. The joy of the last American prisoner of war being released and returned to the U.S. of A. has become a quagmire of political pointing fingers. Questions abound about how Bo Bergdahl was captured. President Barack Obama admits to breaking the law, but states exigent circumstances while Congress fumes. Iraq is going up in smoke, literally. The Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, which already controls a swath of Syria, is marching on Baghdad and seized a third or more of the nation. ISIS, an offshoot of Al-Qaeda, is so depraved and bloodthirsty that even the parent group has denounced its ferocity and evil. The president, who campaigned before his first term on a pledge to withdraw U.S. forces from Iraq and end the nearly 10-year Second Gulf War, now is in a dilemma, wondering when to once more involve America's military might in the desert to thwart the march of ISIS. Even direct talks with Iran, a member of the axis of evil, is on the agenda. U.S. warships are moving into position for what seems to be inevitable. Word just in. adding to the 100 troops already sent to Baghdad to help transport Americans out of harm's way. The President, in compliance with the War Powers Act, has sent a letter to Congress that he is deploying 275 soldiers to the besieged capital who will remain until the all-clear is signaled. So much for the vow last Friday of no boots on the ground. What is the world coming to? So much for wars winding down. So much for Al-Qaeda and jihadists on the run. So much for peace in our time. One lesson seems for sure. Health or no health, when Kernels goes dark, the evil that lurks begins its maniacal dance of destruction. That's what caught my attention for Monday, June 16, 2014. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Kernels from the Cornfield. I am Mark Ivy. Good evening.